name is Alyssa, and I am from New York. Okay. Before arriving to CSG, my heart and soul belonged to New York City. But after a 16-week journey of a lifetime, I belonged to the world. Who knew that a 7.5-hour drive away from home, I would experience something so new and amazing and gain 14 new sisters. I would have never guessed that these girls and I would come together and discover the amount of passion we have to quench the thirst that we call adventure. Accepting to go to CSG meant accepting challenges I've never thought of doing. Canoeing was one of them, was one thing I wanted to do but never did because I was terrified of it. But I got through it, finishing my accomplishment with a really positive saying, at least I'm not dead. Hiking was another thing I wished to do, but prior to CSG, I couldn't because I live in Brooklyn. So when I went on my first hike here in Maine, let's just say it was a bit of a struggle. I began wheezing a few times actually, along with the feeling of passing out. Kate, our leadership teacher, was with me the entire time. She was trying to keep my mind off the hike by asking me about my trip to London with my sister. As I reached to the top of that mountain, I felt exhausted, queasy, and happy that I went through it and survived. Being at CSG was also challenging academically. I came from a school that gave you structure for your work. But Anne, my humanities teacher, didn't believe in a lot of structure. Almost every major project she gave me, I ran to her saying how I need more structure in order for me to do well on the project. Her response? Just go for it. Wing it and see what happens. Everybody here at CSG knows I can't wing things. That'll just cause more stress. So let's say that Anne and I had countless conversations about my working skills. This made me dependent. I needed her. I needed Anne physically next to me to help me write things out. The last piece of writing I had to submit was incredibly stressful. I didn't know how to create an ending. So what did I do? I Skyped Anne, and we did it. We created an ending for that essay, a whole 3 sentences. I'm still shocked that it took Anne and I 1 hour, 14 minutes, and 36 seconds to create 3 sentences. And let me tell you, those were the best 3 sentences I've ever written. I'm pretty sure I made her crazy, but she has helped me become an average writer into, in my opinion, the Picasso of writing. But I'd say that being away from my family was the #1 issue I had trouble overcoming. Weird. The #1 rule in my house is that family always sticks together, so feeling homesick was just natural. I miss my parents, my friends, and my sister. I miss walking into my house and being greeted by my dog, Cooper. Sometimes being away from home was so hard, I was actually thinking about leaving CSG. But CSG has made my life much more open. I discovered my values and I learned how to express them. One value I treasure is community. As a community, it is important to support each other through ups and downs. Before CSG, support was something I've only gotten from my parents and my sister, and no one else. Not even myself. So when I decided to go to CSG, I made sure I would support and believe in myself. I accepted the challenge to make myself physically, emotionally, and mentally strong and powerful. And I know I couldn't give up on the promise I made to myself. One example of challenge that this community has helped me through was when we were on the Boat Coast and we were hiking to the Vans, which were 5.5 miles away. I twisted my ankle pretty badly, and the weight of my backpack was not helping the situation. We were 2.5 miles in, and I couldn't hike anymore. My ankle was in so much pain. These 14 girls then distributed the majority of my things from my bag among themselves. We knew each other for only 7 weeks, and they were helping me. Because we are part of a tight-knit community, I know that I could trust them with everything I have and am. This made me believe in myself. Since I knew that these girls believed and supported me, I soon followed. With the help of these girls, I have pushed myself to my limits and continued when I wanted to give up. Through the challenges we face together, I know that these beautiful young girls will always have a special piece of my heart. Another value I discovered is my connection to nature. I had endless questions about nature simply because I'd never seen it. So when I came to Maine, I found that nature was something that I loved. I live in New York City. It's basically a man-made place, you know. There's no nature there, just buildings and lights. On coastal expedition, it was 9 days of pure nature, untouched bodies of water, trees, shrubs, and animals. The only animals I see in New York are squirrels, raccoons, and ghost pigeons. The boat coast was something I didn't think existed. It was beautiful, the total opposite of my home. I took every second I could and absorbed the foreign scene in front of me. The tan and yellow rocks in all shapes and sizes was like a border between me and the ocean. The sound of crashing waves and birds calling to their groups was something magical. While I was taking in the beauty, something in me felt different. I felt human, like a person who really belonged to this earth. I felt free, like I was no longer boxed in. My recent connection to nature felt natural. It was an instant bond. In the future, I wish to take what I have learned from here, as well as my values, and put it out in the world. Prior to CSG, I wanted to either be a lawyer or a forensic psychologist. But because of this experience and my sudden connection to nature, I plan on being a woman of science. I plan on going to college for astrophysics. I want to learn about the physical nature of stars as well as the universe and apply the laws and theories of physics when looking at astronomical observations. I want to work in a lab, possibly in Caltech or MIT, trying to answer how gravity works, discover more about dying galaxies, and learn what dark matter exactly is. Now, I want to share a piece of writing that I am especially proud of. It is a persuasive essay called I Believe in the Golden Starlight, and it is a combination of my connection to nature and my love for science. I believe in the golden starlight. I remember the first time I saw the stars. I was about 4 years old on a wooden dock in Rhode Island visiting a family friend. My body was starfished against the hard, salty wood. My short, curly hair was in a knotted, ocean-scented mess as I looked up at the sky. The stars looked like tiny gems scattered across a black satin cloth, like golden wishes waiting to come true. My mind drifted off to the New York sky I've seen my entire life. Where are all the stars at home, I said to myself. I live in the greatest city in the world, but something is missing. Seeing the stars is so natural, so not seeing them means that something is definitely wrong. New York City is known for its bright lights. Most people think the lights are beautiful. Meanwhile, others, including myself, think the amount of light is unnecessary and harmful. Light pollution is the result of poor lighting designs which allow artificial light to shine outward and upward into the sky. Though New York City is a prime example of excessive lighting and light pollution, for much of the world, 2/3 of the Earth's population, it is never dark enough to see the stars, or for human eyes to adjust to night vision. Researchers have been discovering connections between human health issues and excessive lighting. Light pollution disrupts the body's circadian rhythm, which is the 24-hour cycle that tells bodies when to sleep and regulates many physiological processes. Many researchers believe that exposure to artificial light disrupts our nighttime production of melatonin. Melatonin is a hormone from the pineal gland, which is in the center of the brain that is produced while we sleep. Circadian rhythm disruption is so important, the World Health Organization recently declared it to be a Class 2A carcinogen, placing it on the same level of severity as the effects of tobacco smoke on lung cancer. As I look back at my 4-year-old self, gazing up at the stars, I think of what she would say if she had known the information I had recently learned. Would she not care because she's only a child that is seeing something so mysteriously gorgeous? Or would she understand that there is something unnaturally wrong with a world made up essentially of manufactured lights? New York's nickname is the city that never sleeps because there are bright lights and something big is always happening. However, my interpretation of this nickname reveals a literal and harmful definition. My city can't sleep because the lights have taken a toll on our sleeping patterns. The stars and humans are part of the world and universe. This means we should have a natural connection. But as I reflect on the effects of light pollution, I realize that city people are robbed from the stars. We are not aware of nature because of the unnatural aspects of our surroundings. Since the evolution of the first human, we have looked up at the stars. We can't see them now because of the cities and their lights, and that's losing millions of years of a natural relationship, of something that's meant to be. And losing the connection that our ancestors had, we lose a piece of ourselves. If people who live in cities can't see the stars, or nature in general, we should at least be aware of what's wrong with our night sky. If we spread our awareness about the effects of light pollution, then maybe we can rekindle that relationship that our ancestors had, that essential relationship between us and the stars. So that's my persuasive essay. And those last three sentences was the three sentences that took me and Anne over an hour to write. And that's why I started smiling, because that's a good paragraph. So, finishing the semester is possibly one of the hardest things I have to do. Tearing myself away from my sisters that I've only gained 16 weeks ago will be another challenge I must face. But I know that the end is just the beginning. And once one door closes, another one opens. We must realize that the experience we just had is a step in the right direction, a portal to an amazing future. In one of my favorite movies, The Dead Poets Society, Robin Williams said, "Carpe diem, seize the day, boys, make your lives extraordinary." So, carpe diem, seize the day, semester 10. Let's make our lives extraordinary starting right now. In semester 10, may I say it was a pleasure laughing, screaming, crying, and living with you. Thank you.